So guys, has something ever happened that seems to disorganize and disorient all the knowledge that you do know about something? Well, yeah, that's exactly what's happening to me right now. Fortunately though, it's happening in the positive direction, not the negative direction. And I'll tell you about it. This flock of chickens of mine, this is 2,500 chickens, and this is like the youngest productive flock we do have around. I have another flock of about 5,000 chickens currently that's about 3 weeks old, just over 3 weeks old. But this is the youngest one that's productive. It is 26 weeks old. Today it should probably be its 26th week and 4th day. And this flock consistently for the last maybe 9 or 10 days has been giving us above 99% production. In fact, one of the days, if you round off, it actually gave us 100% production. It gave us like 99.9. Like of the 2,500 birds, I think like only 2 birds didn't give us eggs, yeah? But consistently, yeah, it's doing like 99.9, 99.4, 99 point something. It's really crazy. It's unbelievable. And you know why it's that crazy? Because I've had some long imprinted beliefs or thoughts about raising chickens. First of all, it is claimed or said that chickens lay eggs every 26 hours. That is like, the commercial chickens, yeah? Now, all the birds that I do have on the farm are actually Issa Brown, besides this one flock. This one flock is Lawman Brown because I personally don't have like layers, day-old chicks at the moment because I was supplying myself. But the last 2 flocks I've had, I think this is Lawman Brown, and then another one I believe I got from like another supplier. Yeah, the other one was Issa Brown. This is Lawman Brown. But usually there's no like major differences between them. Yeah, there really shouldn't be any major differences. In fact, most people that I do know, Issa Brown performs even better than Lawman Brown. But the birds are supposed to give you an egg every 26 hours. And if the birds give you an egg every 26 hours, not 24 hours, which is 24 hours in a day. If it was 24 hours in a day, then you would expect at a particular point to have 100% production. But with every 26 hours, it simply means that it's unrealistic for you to do like 100%, even 99%. That is why the peak is expected to be at about 96%. But here we are with our 99% production in this flock. That is number one. The other thing is that it is claimed that it is impossible for conditions to be ideal, for you to have perfect situations and conditions. They say that, when they're doing those tests for them to give you percentages, everything is usually done based on like ideal environments. So probably some form of like cage system or an environmentally controlled house where the temperatures are like controlled to perfection, the feeds are controlled to perfection and everything. Guys, I'm not doing any of that. You guys can see my poultry houses. They are built from, iron sheeting. You can see the iron sheeting. You can see the wire mesh and everything. I mean, they're open-sided houses. So like today is a cloudy day. You guys might not be able to tell. Yeah, you might be able to tell. So today is a cloudy day, as you might tell. So it's probably like perfect weather for them. But earlier on today, it was quite hot. Yeah, it was quite hot. We haven't had like proper rain for some time. Today it actually drizzled, but it didn't really rain. But we haven't had like proper rain for quite a while. Yeah. And so considering that, the fact that we never have ideal conditions, I'm having an open-sided house. And the other thing is that I do keep my chickens in a more, what would I call it? They're more compacted than usual, yeah? Because ideally, they say 6 birds per square meter. I keep my birds at a spacing of 8 birds per square meter to try and save on the space. You guys can see I do 2 levels of poultry houses. I do 8 birds per square meter. Again, because my area is not too hot, it's not like those super hot areas. There are too many other areas in Uganda which are hotter, but also most areas around the world are certainly much hotter than my country, yeah? And luckily enough, our temperatures all throughout the year are generally the same. But we'll go in and I'll show you guys that. I mean, there's nothing so spectacular, but I'm just amazed by how well the production is. Yeah, so let's get in. So this is the house, this is the flock. This is the oldest flock that we actually do have. Coincidentally, the 2 houses are opposite each other. This is the oldest flock. This flock is about 107 weeks right now. Actually, we're going to be off-laying them like maybe tonight or tomorrow night, depending on when the buyer comes to take them. Yeah, because we want to empty the house. We have our birds that are 3 weeks old. They are filling up a particular house somewhere, but I mean, they'll soon need to expand into the house, probably by the time they're like 7 weeks. So I need to make sure that this house is empty and cleaned and everything by the time they come in. So I'm going to off-lay them, not because you know, their production is not good enough, but it's just because, I mean, I need the space. But generally, I would be keeping them around for longer because they're still profitable for me. They're still doing about 65, 64% at 104 weeks. And this is the youngest flock, okay? So we'll move. You can see the guys trying to maintain the compound, you know, the area around the farm. We try to keep it clean and slash the grass. So I could decide to go down or up, but I'll go up because there's a bit more light up. So it's easier for the performance of the camera. You can see our foot dip. So we dip our feet in to prevent diseases being introduced on the farm. And then we'll take the ramp, open the door. And here we go. Hi guys. These are our beautiful girls. Guys, these are our beautiful girls. The ones that are giving us these crazy productions, yeah? Unbelievable. So you can already tell that, you know, they're quite young. You know, they are fully formed bodies. You can see, like, you know, their feather pattern. It's perfect, yeah? They have fully formed bodies. And they don't have, like, you know, patches of, like, hair coming off, like, too much of it. So that shows that they're quite young. 30-something weeks also, yeah? Not 30-something, 26 weeks. Yeah, I don't know where the 30-something came from in my head. Yeah, and you can see the house. You can see the egg-laying boxes that we are using. You can see them around inside the chicken house. Yeah, those are egg-laying boxes. So again, they are like traditional egg-laying boxes. Nothing spectacular, out of the ordinary. Yeah, so traditional egg-laying boxes. You can see that we are using deep litter system. So you have quite an amount of litter. I'll try and get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I mean, you guys can see how deep my foot is going in. Like, it can literally cover the entire bottom of my gumboot. You guys can see, yeah? So it's quite an amount of litter that I keep inside the house. And people always ask me, you know, how often do you change your litter? How much litter should you put? You know, I advise about, you know, 5 inches, 5 to 6 inches, yeah? That will ensure that your poultry house remains dry. So you guys can see, these birds have been here for quite a while, but the poultry house is still dry, yeah? I think from the time that they were 8 weeks, because they remained down on the floor until 8 weeks. Then after 8 weeks, they were separated and this batch came up here. So, and the litter is still dry. It could probably take us until 50 weeks, because after 50 weeks or 40 weeks, the place becomes too heavy. And remember, this is an upper floor. We don't want the house to get too heavy. So we reduce it, take it into the gardens, and then we get others from outside. You can see the birds feeding. So these are our feeders that you can see right here. Okay, these are our feeders, and this is our drinkers. Yeah, so they're also taking water. Right now we are not using automated. We are using automated. I don't know. Yeah, because I think recently they have been giving vitamins. Yeah, they probably did a vaccination recently. So we give water manually. Yeah, so the guys get water and they come and just pour it onto this thing. It slides there. That's how we give the vitamins generally. But you guys can see the birds. You can see how they are properly spaced inside the poultry house. Yeah, again, if you're wondering about the spacing, the number of drinkers and feeders, inside here we have about 25 drinkers for 1,250 birds. So that's 50 birds per drinker. And for the feeders, I usually do 30 birds per feeder. That's what I usually do, yeah? So that's about 40 feeders up here, more or less. So the birds are really, I mean, you guys, I just can't believe it, yeah? It's crazy. It has gone beyond what I expect. So the next time someone asks me, how often does a bird lay an egg? I don't know what to tell them, because I've always been telling them 26 hours. But guys, if you're getting to almost 100%, that means it's certainly less than 26 hours. Maybe 24 hours. Yeah, maybe 24 hours. By the time they're able to give you that, it's really crazy. And I know one of the things you guys might be wondering about is, you know, what feed are you using? Are you using some special feed? No, nothing special, yeah? So my feed is mainly a premix. I use like a 5% premix. That's what you'd call it. So that means every 100 kilograms of feed, you mix 5% of that premix in. Or every 100 kilos, you put 5 kilos of that premix. And then the rest of it is like soya cake. I use soya cake. I use sunflower cake, limestone. I use maize bran and broken maize. And these are the same exact raw materials that a lot of people use in all places. But it's really crazy. Maybe the source that I get them from is really good, maybe, but they're really doing well, yeah, like really doing well. And interestingly, even the feed cost for me is not so high, yeah. I find the feed cost to be like acceptably low. So I'm actually enjoying my production. I'm enjoying, you know, how the birds are doing and how they are performing. It's really crazy. So guys, yeah, that was it. I know it's crazy to believe, and at the beginning I was like, no, there should be some kind of error, some kind of like counting error or calculation error. So I decided to go ahead and like try and confirm all these things myself, which I did. Try to do the calculations myself. I tried to keep track of like the deaths, like from the time the birds came in, and keep track of the deaths so that I'm certain we have the correct number of birds. And guys, that is it. Yeah, it's unbelievable, but it's actually true. Yeah, you can actually get to such percentages, and it's unbelievable. A lot of times people will tell you like you can only do that in cages. If you're not doing cages or an environmentally controlled house, then you're going to get to such production. In fact, other day I was telling someone that, you know, I think at that time the birds were like doing 97%. Yeah, and I was telling them, you know, my birds are doing 97. It's crazy. It's unbelievable. You know, the birds are doing 97%. And then they told me, you know, that's really good. And if you are doing cages, it could even have been higher, because cages perform like 2% higher than deep litter. But here we are, guys, with that deep litter doing 98, you know, 99%. And initially, I was honestly considering doing cages. And I know that cages, I mean, is usually more efficient, less energy intensive, and things like that. But no, I think I've completely given up on the idea of doing cages. Yeah, I've literally given up on the idea of doing cages. I'll just do my deep litter system, as you guys can see it with my poultry houses. These are 4. We have a 5th one somewhere, in fact, and a 6th one on my dad's place. So I'm just going to keep doing that. I mean, it can give me 99%. I mean, I don't need to get to 99%, but if I can only get to 95, 96%, that would be perfect. But it has proven to me that it can actually go up to 99%, which is more than perfect. Yeah, what more would I want? Yeah, if I'm already getting like, you know, 95%. And just in case you're wondering how I managed to raise my birds and get to these crazy percentages that are also surprising me, well, I've made a very, very detailed video about how you can start and grow a thriving farm. I'll leave a link to that video in the description of this video. You can check it out. It's really beautiful. Just go check it out. Catch you very soon with another one. Lots of love. Bye-bye.